Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Dr. Ryan Simmons, as per usual. So, I did just get back from a certification, and the certification being Prosci. If you've never heard of Prosci, they do change management certification for their change management process. It's a well known process, it's a well known model, it's all backed by research that they do, and they've done for over 20 years. So there's a reason behind getting that certification. But are certifications necessarily needed? So I do have an argument that's kind of for certifications and against certifications at the same time. I don't think necessarily certifications are a terrible thing. I have seen certifications out there that are absolutely superfluous. They do not matter. You see them preferred or required in certain job descriptions, and I have to completely disagree with that. Usually, if they're required, it's something like a clearance where you do need it. And in that case, yes, go for it, obviously. If it's something that's just preferred, I really need to think it over. There are several professional certifications within human resources and the organizational development practices that I think are ridiculous. If you're interested in a certification, there are three things that I would suggest to cover before you go into it. The first one is the certification can be there to be a proof that you know something. By proof that you know, I mean something that says that you are a certified blah, 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 meaning that you can do that job because you've covered the knowledge base. I have one from ATD that is Master of Instructional Design. It proves that I know instructional design principles and I know how to use them in such a way where I'm effective at creating training. The second reason that you might go for a certification is a resume builder. Again, this kind of ties into it proves what you know, but in this case, it's something that you're putting on your resume that specifically brands you to a job category. An example of this would be my Prosci certification. It's something that I got so I could put it on a resume and show people that don't necessarily trust that I know what I'm talking about right now. Now, after the certification, they're going to have to say, yes, he at least knows the process and he can go through it. And the third one is something I had just mentioned, but I think it bears repeating: perception changing. Anytime that you can look at a different perspective than your own and learn to incorporate that into your process, you're going to be more holistic and helpful as a professional. The way that we tend to grow and learn as people is that we take on certain ideas and attributes from other areas and we kind of make it our own thing. That's really how we grow. Otherwise, we still stay pretty stagnant in our own profession. All right, so if we got pros, we got cons. So these are the things I would say I'd be against getting the certification if I can check these boxes. One is that certifications are pricey. Sometimes you can get away with about $1,000. Other times it's going to be a minimum of $4,500 or above. So if your organization is not sponsoring you to go to these things, it can be a lot of money out of your pocket. And if it's a lot of money out of your pocket, you really do have to do a cost benefit analysis of what you're really getting out of that certification. Number two is going to be, is your certification necessary? If it's not a necessary certification, again, it could be pricey. It could be more than you really need. And depending on the people that are actually doing the hiring, they may realize that you have the skills without actually having that stamp of approval of some organization. Let me remind everyone that there are certifications out there that can be helpful, but I've gotten by 10 years without needing a change management certification, and I've done pretty well. Could that have helped my career a little bit earlier? Yeah, it probably could have. But I was still pretty successful. And I know a lot of successful people in that field that still don't have that certification or didn't get it until much later in their career, and it didn't really impact them. And the third reason that you might not want to get that certification is that the certification may be just a bunch of fluff. So I know I said I know of some certifications, and I can't name them or else I might get myself in trouble, that are out there that just don't really provide quality at the end of that process. Just because you know the process doesn't mean the end product is going to be quality. So this is partly up to the person who's doing the work. It's partly up to the organization that's trying to get the work done. You need to match up what you know you need and what you don't know you need. Get that set of lists together, because in a project where you're just trying to muddle through and try to come up with what you think you need, a consultant needs to figure out what you actually need. Sometimes those things line up, sometimes those things don't line up. And if you're relying on a certification to deliver that quality, you may be sorely misinformed. You may be missing out on a lot of money that you could have had back in your pocket because the certification doesn't really make a difference. So again, I went to go get certified with Prosci, and I went to get certified because there are a lot of jobs out there that require or prefer that you go ahead and have the certification. So that was the first reason. The second reason was I think I really did need a refresher on some of the model and how it's used. There were also some tools that they have, and it made it a lot easier for me to do those tasks by using the change management tools that Prosci delivers. So having somebody be able to walk me through step by step in the process where they fit, especially even trying to teach me a little bit about what's been updated, that really did help. If you're about to go on to this certification, if you're interested in it, do take some time, talk to the people who are involved. Take the time to really talk to your instructor beforehand. They will reach out to you. And above all, really just know what you're getting into. Because if you don't do your research, you don't look into it, you don't do your homework, you're going to kind of be stumbling around if you're fairly new to all of this. If you're an experienced change management person or you've been working on a lot of projects, you will see exactly where this fits in with what you've been doing in the past. Okay, so in recap, there's some great certifications out there. And if you have the money, you have the time, you think it's going to be beneficial to you in your education or your career as you're going down your career path, I would definitely talk about getting them, especially if you can get them sponsored by the business you're working with. That's even better. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you guys are interested in Prosci certification and have some questions, let me know. We can also have you go talk to the Prosci people and see if it's really right for you. If you're interested in my opinion on some other certifications out there, I'm more than willing to talk to people one-on-one. Just don't want to open myself up to lawsuits. But again, my name is Dr. Ryan Simmons. Thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, please go ahead and like, subscribe to this video, this channel for me, and leave some comments down there. Tell me about your process. Tell me a little bit about your experience with certification. Did you like what you did? Did you not like what you did? Help an audience out, right? All right, until next time, guys. Talk to you later.